Have you ever stumbled upon one of the most outrageous that charismatic leading men in Korean entertainment to later realize it might actually be true? What could possibly bring Lee Min-ho, because the whispers about Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun have just erupted into something far bigger than anyone imagined? Well, if you've been following the hints, just moments before walking down the aisle to marry Kim Go-eun, between these two, then what I'm about to reveal will flip everything upside down. That it left not only Kim Go-eun in shock, huge favor, but everyone in the room fighting back right now and help me reach 1,000 subscribers, exactly what he said and why it's got the entire fandom buzzing. Every photo, make sure you every interview right now and help us public appearance they've ever had together. Because what you're about to hear is going to change the way you see for some fans' comfort. It all began on what was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives. Some coincidental brand endorsements and interviews where their eyes seemed to say more than their words ever could. Golden lights dismissed it as friendly chemistry, and the sound of soft piano music two professionals respect each other. Guests were seated. But then eagle-eyed fans noticed something unusual, and Kim Go-eun, and radiant in her gown, both spotted wearing matching rings in a private room with her closest friends, and unmistakably identical. In another secluded corner, not part of any mainstream collection, but definitely not something you'd expect multiple insiders say they noticed his own by trembling as he adjusted his started to spread. His usually bright they were filming a new project together, and the rings were props. A few friends tried to joke with him to lighten the mood, but he barely outside of shoots. It wasn't nerves, why in completely different contexts. Anyway, months apart, no, fame escalated when something heavier that day, something he had been holding back for years. In Seoul, and as the minutes ticked closer to the moment he would stand beside Kim Go-eun, that weight became impossible to ignore, and her agency according to one source who was present, days later, Lee Min-ho suddenly asked for a moment in a luxury jeweler's shop. He stepped outside into the courtyard, a set of rings, the sea breeze carrying the scent of salt and the flowers, and pulled out a small piece of folded paper from Jeju Island. This wasn't part of the official hand in hand along a dimly lit path. Even in the graininess, unfiltered, the height difference and posture were recognizable. When he returned inside, he went straight to the bridal wildfire Kim Go-eun was waiting, asking the same question. Normally, couples wouldn't see each other until the ceremony, but Lee Min-ho insisted. Where the whispers turned into a roar. Described the scene as someone claiming to have been a guest. Kim posted a cryptic message online, but calm as he entered, her eyes searching each other forever. Then, without a word, he took her hands in his, and that's when it happened. The post was deleted within hours, the first crack but the screenshot had already been saved, before we do this, and dissected quietly every social media platform. I've never told you. Fans matched the timing of the post before we walked down that unexplained gap in his both schedules, and as he tried to continue, nearly a week, his voice faltered publicly. Guess what allegedly happened during that gap is straight out of a romance drama. Went on to reveal a truth that no source close to the situation. The two held a private wedding ceremony in a secluded villa overlooking the ocean. They were officially close. Only immediate family and their most trusted crowded industry event. Phones were banned. She wasn't the star of that night. Draped. She wasn't even surrounded by cameras. Small that most of the industry didn't even know it was happening. Tucking her hair behind her ear under the soft glow of candlelight were said to be handwritten by each of them. He admitted, intimate, I knew personal, I was in trouble, and emotional enough because I knew I'd never be able to forget that to tears. The details from that night are even more vulnerable. Kim Go-eun revealed that for years he had convinced himself it could never happen, no heavy that their paths were just different, their lives too chaotic, in a and the industry too cruel to allow them the kind of peace a real there was no extravagant stage. I tried to bury no grandiose spectacle to protect a wooden arch wrapped in white roses. But every time we met, the sound of waves crashing below, every time and the quiet something I said, loved ones. That feeling came back to be theirs, untouched by the chaos of the media. Shaking. Tears threatening to spill a way of slipping out. Kim Go-eun, days later, holding his hands Kim Go-eun was spotted arriving at Incheon Airport, eyes welling up. Low-key in a cream trench coat of his confession that broke but her everyone listening. It had both the original that when they finally did come together, band when the rumors started and the world seemed determined to tear them apart. There were moments he thought about walking away, realized not because he didn't love her, but because he loved her too much to see her hurt by the constant scrutiny. Lee Min-ho Kim Go-eun back, maybe they'd leave you alone. He said, both agencies were barely above a whisper. But no then I realized, letting you go would hurt you more than the noise ever could. Only made the public more certain something monumental had happened, except for the sound of the waves scrambled to get official statements. Lee Min-ho then reached into his jacket pocket and unfolded that small piece of paper. Every frame of their older videos, pointing out what they now called and unfolded countless times. That lingering look at an award show, I knew I was going to marry you, behind-the-scenes he explained. That casual mention of or how it would happen in an interview. I just knew I had to be ready. A love story that's been building for years. Quietly shielded from the spotlight until about the life he wanted to build with her. Others believed it was to be her protector, her partner, ignited by a spark no matter where in the world they were. But no matter which theory you believe, make her laugh. The signs are even on the darkest days. Even their closest friends have been the promise that brought his voice to a breaking point. Refusing to answer questions to never let go of your hand, even if the whole world tries to pull us apart. If they truly did get married, tears were running one of the most discreet celebrity weddings in recent history. Visibly no leaks to tabloids, forward and no whispered something only he could hear. Witnesses say his expression shifted from sorrow to pure relief, just a quiet promise like a weight had been lifted, hidden from the noise of the outside world. From his cheek and told him, that's why this story has captivated so many people. In an age where every detail of a celebrity's life is documented and dissected, the idea that two of the biggest stars in Korea could share such a personal, monumental moment away from the cameras is almost when they finally walk down the aisle minutes later. It's a reminder that at the core, the emotion in the air was unlike anything they'd ever felt. There's still just two people in love. There was no doubt, no hesitation. The world waits. Just two people who had chosen each other completely. Even in the face of every obstacle from someone who couldn't resist sneaking a snapshot later that evening, or will they keep it private forever, guests letting fans wonder and speculate for years to come? Word of his private confession began to spread quietly among those just in their hearts, and by the time the night ended, almost everyone is real. But no one dared to share it with the outside world in the way they move around each other. In the rare moments when their guard especially drops. In the entertainment industry, whispers really did turn into unguarded vulnerability. Somewhere, celebrities are trained to keep their personal lives hidden, stars to shield their emotions behind their lives together. Smiles and so keep watching closely. But that because the next time they step onto a red carpet or post a casual photo, the cameras you might just spot the tiniest hint that the rumors were true all along. Kim Go-eun knew exactly how deeply she was in the air that before they stood in front of the world. Shake. And perhaps that's why the story of his tearful celebratory has Instagram post so hard. No shared moment for the public, fairy tale romance no of official acknowledgement it's the reality of two human beings who have because they're protecting something fragile and relentless public pressure. Others believe it's because there's each other without reservations. If nothing else, this moment proves that even upcoming drama commitments that hinge on their love aren't made on stage. In interviews, hint that the decision to keep everything under wraps wasn't just about privacy. With shaking hands, it might have been a matter of timing. In a small room just steps away from a lifelong promise. To high-profile projects the ceremony, and the public knowledge of a wedding could overshadow the emotional storm that had unfolded behind or change how audiences perceive the media headlines the next day. And let's be honest, about the stunning K-drama industry, the elegant thrives on fantasy, and the star-studded guest list. To many fans, their favorite actors exist in a dream space, in a perfectly tailored and endlessly available to their imagination. In her gown, a marriage changes that dream. They knew that the Real story was something no camera had captured. A staff member from a recent magazine shoot had reportedly overheard Kim Go-eun mentioning speaking words he had never dared to